Hi guys, Miss Francis here. Before we look at the mathematical aspect of the Hardy-Weinberg theorem, what I want to do is go through in greater detail the Hardy-Weinberg theorem and review some important vocabulary. So in more detail, populations at Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium must satisfy 5 conditions, meaning that these 5 conditions must be met in order for there to be no evolution. If any one of these 5 conditions is not met, does not hold true, then evolution is occurring. So the first condition is that there is a very large population size. Because when you have small populations, you can have chance fluctuations in the gene pool, known as genetic drift. Let me show you what I mean. So if I have an earthquake and there is a large population, let's say only 3 out of the 10 million die, then I won't see such a drastic effect on the composition of the gene pool, everybody's genes or the entire population's set of genes. However, let's say there's an earthquake and 3 out of 20 individuals die, then there will be a drastic change or a significant change in the composition of the gene pool. So genetic drift is the change in frequency of alleles in small populations due to a chance event. There will be no evolution if there are no migrations. In other words, if there is no movement of genes found in individuals in or out of a population, and this is known as gene flow. So if I have no movement into or out of a population, then there won't be any gene flow. Now, even stationary populations can move. For example, the wind can blow pollen into a different area, or animals can inadvertently carry seeds into a new area. Therefore, I do have gene flow. There will be no evolution if there are no mutations. In other words, if there are no changes in the DNA. Well, we know that mutations do occur because there are variations within populations. For example, in any population, you will see differences. So if we look at the moth here, there's a brown moth and there's a white moth. Now the mutation is what caused that brown moth, causing a new composition within the gene pool. It introduced a new allele. In order for no evolution to occur, there must be random mating, meaning that if I pick mates, I have not satisfied this condition. And we know that we pick mates based on preferable characteristics. So believe it or not, even beetles will pick mates based on their size, where those beetles that are similarly sized will pick that as a mate. The last condition of the Hardy-Weinberg equilibrium theorem, in other words, for no evolution to occur, there must be no natural selection, meaning that all offspring will have an equal chance of surviving. That means that no traits are favored, no traits are selected for. And we know that this isn't true because you do have natural selection. For example, there are herbicide-resistant weeds, weeds that have gained this ability to survive despite being sprayed by this herbicide that's supposed to kill them. And then eventually this herbicide resistance, which is a favorable characteristic, will be passed on to offspring, and now this allele becomes more common in that population. So evolution will result when any of these 5 conditions are not met. In other words, when a population experiences deviations from the stability predicted by the Hardy-Weinberg theory. So once again, the Hardy-Weinberg theory proposes 5 conditions that need to be met in order for there to be no evolution. If any of these conditions are not met, then evolution does occur. In our next video, we'll take a look at how Hardy and Weinberg developed a mathematical equation to evaluate evolution.